Hi guys, this is Traci Copeland and this is Good Moves with Well+Good, and today we are doing core strength for runners. Core is essential for everything you do, whether you're a runner or not. Your core helps stabilize your pelvis and your hips and your lower back. So you have to have core strength. It's going to keep you nice and lifted, but core strength is essential for everything you do. So we're going to do 5 moves. We're going to do 3 rounds, 30 seconds for each move. So very first thing we're going to do is rainbows, 30 seconds. So hands behind your hips, feet lifted off of the ground, and you're gonna go ahead and lift the legs off of the ground, moving side to side, making that nice rainbow. And what you can also do is, if you're feeling up for it, keep the legs straight. But keep in mind that you have 3 rounds of this for 30 seconds. So I suggest that you pace yourself. If you need to keep the knees bent, keep them bent. Do whatever works for you, okay? Wherever you are, just make sure that you keep the lower abs drawn in. This is also great because you're not just working your core, you're also getting a little bit of a hip flexor workout too. So the great thing about your core is you're not just training it by itself, it's also being trained with your hip flexors. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. We have side plank with leg lift. So I'm gonna get my forearm parallel to the front of the mat, and I'm gonna go ahead and stack my feet, lift my arm all the way up. Once you feel stable here, keep your core engaged, lift that top leg up and down. Good, and the main thing here is making sure that you're not sagging in that bottom hip, keeping the hips completely stacked, okay? If the hip is lifting, the leg is a little too much, you can always just hold it right here isometrically. That's also great, another way to modify. Another way that you can intensify this is putting a weight in that top arm. Main thing is that you want to keep your body nice and balanced. All right, we're here just a little bit longer, and then we're gonna go ahead and move on to that opposite side. All right, one side down. Let's take it to the other side. Feet stacked, forearm in place. Set yourself up first in a nice, good, stable side plank. Get that arm lifted, finding stability, and then start to lift that leg up and down. So that first move, we also worked on our hip flexors. This one is great for your core strength, the side plank, but it's also working my abductors in addition, so it's like a nice little extra credit. Holding it right here. And again, if that's a little too intense, hold that side plank isometrically, totally up to you. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're gonna go ahead and move on to flutter kicks on your back. All right, hands behind your head, legs off of the ground. Try to keep the lower abs connected, and then you're just gonna go ahead and kick both legs up towards the sky. In this case, keep the lower abs drawn in. If you have back issues and you feel like you're arching in that lower back, what you can also do is bring your hands underneath, and you get the same effect. Just making sure that you keep that neck lifted and smile like you're having a good time. All right, we're gonna move on. We have forearm plank. So forearm plank. We did the side plank, another isometric movement. We're gonna hold right here, but this time we have a little bit of a side step. So I'm gonna tap to the right and tap to the left. So important thing in your planks is to make sure that you're in a good base of support. You don't have the hips too high and you don't have them too low. I would actually prefer, if anything, you have the hips a little bit higher. That way you're not putting extra pressure on your lower back. And any forearm plank, you can, yes. Last move is, we have a little upward row with a weight. So you can grab that dumbbell, upward chop I would call it actually. So you're gonna start with the weight in one hand and then power through. So you're getting a little bit of power here, and then you're slowly lowering down. Power it up, slow down. So this is like a little upward wood chop, keeping your heels connected to the ground, keep the lower abs drawn in. And if this is a little too intense, you can always lose the weight, totally up to you. Do whatever works for you. If because we're going to make sure that we get both sides of your body. 30 seconds each. Powering through. All right, let's take it to the opposite side. Getting that dumbbell close to my hip. I'm gonna cross my feet once again and just angle the dumbbell sort of at a diagonal. And this is less about speed, more about control. You want to control your movement, especially with your core workout. You don't want to jerk your body around. That puts unnecessary strain on that lower back. We want to be controlled in everything that we do. Get that nice upward chop, powering through. Lift. Just a little bit longer. We got this. Stay with me. All right, those were 5. We have a couple more rounds. Put the weight off to the side, and we're gonna go back to those rainbows, okay? Fingers behind you. And like I said, this is great for runners, but anybody can do this. I would suggest if you're a runner, what I tend to do is I like to do my little 30-minute run or little speed workout, and then just add this towards the end. Perfect combination, so you get a little bit of everything. You don't just focus on your legs and your running, but you get your core workout as well. It's gonna help you be a better runner, a faster runner, and just a better athlete overall, even if you're not a runner. Stay with me. Making those nice little rainbows. All right, let's go ahead and make our way into side plank. We're gonna go ahead and get the forearm parallel towards top of the mat. Get your body in position. What you could also do, another way to modify, is lower that knee to the ground and still lift up, okay? That way you're still getting that benefit if it's a little bit too intense. But just keep that leg, that bottom hip lifted off the ground. Make sure you're not sagging in your hip, okay? But if you can, I would love for you to stay with both hips stacked. And if you need to rest, you can always just hold it right here isometrically, okay? Really focusing on your quality of movement. All right, let's take it to the opposite side. Swing the legs around, get yourself properly lined up. Stack the feet and lift the hips, palm facing out. Get your stable base of support here, and then start those leg lifts. And my head is, as you can see, in kind of a neutral position. I don't need to look up at my hand like I would do in a yoga class, for example. I want to just stay looking forward, really focusing on my quality of movement with my abs. And again, you've got that option, drop the back knee to the ground. If you need to, you can still incorporate the leg lift, also working those medial glutes and those abductors. Okay, setting up for flutter kicks. On your back, hands behind your head, loosely behind your head, shoulders off the ground, and just kicking the legs one at a time. Now, if getting your legs a little bit too close to the ground is a little intense on your low back, you can always lift the legs a little bit higher. Once again, keeping the gaze all the way up. Draw the lower abs in. Once again, you could always put the hands underneath the hips. Nice way to modify. The legs lifting all the way up towards the ceiling. We're almost there, just a little bit longer. Hang with me. All right, setting ourselves up for forearm plank. We did both sides already. Let's interlace the fingers, get that strong base of support. Another way that you can modify here, if it's a little bit too intense to hold the plank, you could go to your knees and step out, boom, step out, boom. But as much as possible, let's try to get that step to the side, both legs straight, core engaged, interlacing your fingers. What also helps in a forearm plank is to keep your glutes engaged the entire time. Here, just a little bit longer. Focusing on quality of movement, less about speed. All right, let's go ahead, come to a seated position, grab a hold of that weight, keep it close by. We have those upward wood chops. All right, crossing your feet at the ankles and powering up, power up. And I'm keeping the weight towards the back. So I'm kind of balancing on my tailbone a little bit here. Some people have issues in this position. If you do, then I would just maybe double up on your mat. Maybe soften that cushion a little bit. That way you can still get through the movement. All right, powering up, lowering down. All right, let's take it to the other side. Get that upward wood chop. Crossing my feet at the ankles. Making sure you're going towards that diagonal, keeping both arms as straight as possible the entire time. And you're kind of looking in the direction of that dumbbell. Yes, we are almost there. Stay with me. Stay with the good moves. All right, that's round 2. 1 more to go. 1 more round, 5 more moves. So rainbows are next. 30 seconds, set yourself up. Bend the knees slightly and start to make those nice little rainbows with your feet. Good. Make sure you tap your heels every single time. Keep your core engaged the entire time. And just stay with it. If you need to take a moment to recover, set yourself up, and then regroup. At least you're staying with it. And you can always play around, yes, with straightening your legs. All right, we're gonna go to side plank, right side. Forearm parallel to the front of the mat. Set yourself up. Nice, strong base of support. Arm up. Find your good, solid side plank first, and then you can start to lift the leg when you're ready. And this is less about how many reps you're able to get in, but more that you're able to kind of keep that form and keep your side plank, keep that hip lifted. Focusing on that quality of movement, just a little bit longer. And we're gonna switch to the other side. Stay with it. All right, let's go ahead and take it to the opposite side. We have side plank. Stacking the feet, getting lifted on that left side. Nice and strong, palm facing out. And then start to lift that leg when you're ready. And I like to keep a fist in my bottom hand, but you can also flatten out the hand too. The fist just kind of helps stabilize. Good, keeping that head aligned so you're in that same position. You can really feel your core and the hips working here. All right. Let's take it into flutter kicks. Lying on your back. Hands behind your head. Extend the legs. Try to keep the feet flexed. Keep the legs nice and straight. Keep the gaze up towards your toes. And just stay connected to the movement. Put your hands underneath your hips if you need to. But we're almost at that finish line. I can see it. I know you can too. All right, let's take it into the next movement. We have forearm plank with that nice little side step. Get in your nice strong forearm plank first. Hold here, eyes slightly forward, and add that nice little tap, side to side. Again, if you need to modify, lower to your knees and tap it. There's no shame there, okay? Do whatever works for you today. Everybody's at a different fitness level. So that foot should be kind of moving just outside of your mat. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and take it into that upward wood chop. Grab a hold of your dumbbell. Keep your hips back. And you're gonna go ahead and take it to the side. Extend. Keep the weight all the way back. Make sure you lift at the diagonal. A little bit longer, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the opposite side. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. 30 more seconds. Looking in the direction of your dumbbell. Focusing on quality, not speed. And again, you can lose that dumbbell if you need to. If you can, try to hold on to it. Almost there. All right. Whew. Okay, as you can see, that was a challenging workout. But like I said before, this workout is great for everybody, whether you're a runner, whether you love to dance, whether you do HIIT or strength training. You can do this workout anywhere, outside, enjoying this beautiful weather. And I'm doing it outside, and you can do it indoors, wherever works for you. So thank you so much for joining. My name is Traci Copeland, and this is Good Moves with Well+Good.